Hello, PascoMath grade 6 teachers. Today we're going to look at 6.EE.1.1. We're going to look at unpacking the standard, look at some things you can do in the classroom as well as some things we want students doing, anticipate some misconceptions, and talk about how we can address those. So let's go ahead and get started. So 6.EE.1.1 reads, write and evaluate numerical expressions involving whole number exponents. And so when we unpack that a little bit, the standard's focus is on whole number exponents with the emphasis on that understanding of the meaning of exponents and exponential notation, such as 3 to the third and expanded form as 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 used as a factor 3 times, or 3 to the fourth would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 used as a factor 4 times. Students find the value of an expression using exponential notation, such as 5 to the third equals 125. They're also expected to write and evaluate numerical expressions containing exponents, such as 6 plus 2 to the fourth times 5, and so they would have to evaluate that numerical expression there. So when we look at what the teacher should be doing, first is plan those experiences for students to investigate that an exponent is notation representing repeated multiplication. And so we could just something as simple as 10 times 10 times 10 representing that 10 to the third. And just even calling it, how we have the base and the exponent and really getting that, well, this is could be also referred to as 10 cubed, and then being fluid with those representations. Just really emphasize that exponential notation was developed to write repeated multiplication more efficiently. Like, ask students if, do you really, let's say it's 10 to the 100th. Tell them, would you like to expand that out? No, why not? It would take forever. You'd have to write 10 as a factor 100 times. And so just really establishing why we use scientific or exponential notation. We also need to present a series of exponential expressions to help students discover any non-zero number raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. And so I like to do this just through patterning. And so you could do something as simple as we can do 4 to the third. Well, that's 4 times 4 times 4, which equals 64. 4 to the second. Well, that's 4 times 4 equals 16. We can go 4 to the first. Well, that's just 4 uses the factor one time. And so, and then we can actually, I might use threes as well. I try to stay away from twos because a lot of times twos sometimes have special cases. And so, well, 3 to the third is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. 3 to the second is 3 times 3, it's 9. 3 to the first, 3 uses a factor one time, it's just 3. And so to have them, I might use 5s and 6s and some other numbers here. But the point is, have them discover the pattern of what's happening. And so some will discover that, you're using 4 as a factor one less time each time. Some might say something like that division of 4, that division of 4. So if that pattern continues, 64 divided by 4 is 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 4 divided by 4, so when we get what is 4 to the 0, and that's for them to figure out, well, it should equal 1 if this pattern continues. And then if we go over here to the 3's, 3 to, divide by 3, divide by 3, students need to discover that, not you. Divided by 3, 3 divided by 3, well, 3 to the 0 should equal 1. And then we can show case after case after case how this occurs. And so that's more powerful, definitely, when it comes from the student. Some other things you can do is just allow students to use manipulatives to show that 3 squared, 3 times 3, equals 9, and that's like those 9 square units. And then 3 to the third, when we say 27, that's those cubic units, and really have them. You can do that with some hands-on manipulatives like algebra blocks and things like that. How students write and evaluate a variety of exponential notation examples, as well as emphasize the following vocabulary: exponents, base, numerical expressions, evaluate, sum, term, product. So this is very a mathematically rich standard, even though it's a short one. And so just making sure we're using that proper mathematical, precise math language when interacting with the standard. Now looking at some things that the students should be doing. So they really need to understand the meaning of exponents and exponential notation. Again, emphasis on that meaning. Use that appropriate terminology to explain how to evaluate an expression. Definitely an opportunity for Math Practice 6 here. They need to evaluate numerical expressions containing exponents and to discover that any base raised to the 0 power is equal to 1, any non-zero base. So some misconceptions. A lot of students will interpret 4 to the third power, 4 to the third as 4 times 3. And so having them expanded out, writing that number in expanded form really helps. So 4 used as a factor 3 times, 4 times 4 times 4. Paying special attention to that precise math vocabulary. So that's it for this standard. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or your regional specialist. And thank you for making PascoMath more awesome.